This is Sean O'Malley in 2010.
We took him to a boxing club in downtown Helena, and we went walking in. The guy there didn't have any interest in Sean at all. Sean's scrawny looking little kid.
Fast forward 2 years to an early kickboxing fight where Sean still isn't being taken seriously.
We have a kid named Blake Green whose opponent backed out. He's 20 pounds bigger. If you want to fight, you can fight. He was with all his college buddies. This was in college at the time. Well, they were kind of laughing. It was me and my dad. And I'm like, okay, this guy thinks he's going to f me up. Because I'm just so skinny little kid. I'm like 30, 40 pounds less than this guy.
Little would Sean know, at this fight, somewhere amongst the crowd, there is a man that shared the same fighter's dream of one day becoming UFC champion, and would reveal a part of Sean he never knew existed.
You grew up in Montana. Did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never liked school. Elementary, middle school, high school. We had to get up at like 6 a.m. It's freezing in Montana in the winter.
I remember like hiding under my bed and like just doing whatever I could to not go.
Were you ever bullied or anything?
I wouldn't say bullied. I would say more, I wasn't like confident walking around school.
Yeah.
If something popped off, I wasn't confident.
I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like street fights. I avoided it.
I remember my dad was watching the UFC when I had to have been 12 or 13.
I don't remember who was fighting. I remember it was Uriah and somebody.
We were downstairs, me and my younger son Daniel, my older son Michael, Sean being the middle son, because we had to hide downstairs because the mom said you're not going to show your kids this stuff.
I don't understand how they can kick each other in the ribs and punch each other in the face, and how that I just didn't get it as a sport.
He's like, how can you guys watch this, man? This stuff's disgusting.
And I wanted to watch something else on the TV.
I remember telling my mom that he was watching. I told on him.
Tells his mom, Dad's down there watching UFC.
And my mom's yelling at my dad, change it.
Makes it shut it off, which is ironic, because Sean was not a fighter.
Sean preferred the more conventional high school sports.
Most of my memories from being a kid were in sports. Vivid memories of me, Michael, and Daniel playing football out in the yard. We had a huge backyard.
Every time we played football, it ended in a fight. Me and Daniel, me and Michael. Usually Daniel and Michael versus me.
Sean was just spectacular at baseball, football, basketball.
I thought I was gonna be in the NFL.
Problem with Sean is he doesn't like team sports, wasn't good with coaches, wasn't good with any authority.
I just never felt like I got a chance to get the ball, like put the ball in my hands. I was a wide receiver.
He wanted to show his talent, so we took him to a boxing club in downtown Helena, and we went walking in. The guy there didn't have any interest in Sean at all. Sean's scrawny looking little kid.
And you, like, your incentive was to like get chicks and stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I would assume chicks like fighting.
Yeah.
It'd give myself a little bit of confidence going into high school, not be scared. One of my best friends at the time's dad was a boxing coach.
He was a Golden Gloves boxer. His son was a Golden Gloves, and his daughter was Golden Gloves. I asked him if Sean could go train with him. His name's Ray Moore. And he said, sure. We went up to Ray's house, which is way up in the mountains. Ray had nothing. He had a beat-up treadmill and a heavy bag that was all broke.
I would go and run on the treadmill there. I would go hit mitts with him. It would like introduce me to boxing.
I would say 2 weeks later, he looked at me and he said, you have no idea what you got here. I've been doing this my whole entire career. I've never seen anybody with the speed and strength of Sean.
When I was 16, I had 4 kickboxing fights with, knocking people out, doing really good, performing, enjoyed the thrill of performing and being the center of attention, one-on-one sport.
I was gaining this confidence because I was winning. I was knocking people out.
Which is really important for young fighters. It kind of clicked for me. It's like, that's it. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Early into his career, Sean realized he didn't just want to box, but also compete in MMA.
When he first started with me, I gave him the name Sean the Fighting Irish O'Malley. He trained a couple weeks and he said, listen, coach, I don't feel good about that name anymore. I said, all right, I'll think of another name. So I watched him, for a month and a half, and the only thing I could come up with was Sugar. And then he asked me, why Sugar? I said,
because you're so sweet to watch. I was like, okay, I can with that.
My dad went to every single one of my fights, and he knew I was a good athlete, so he was excited that I was trying to do something with my life.
But as he got closer to his dad, he started to lose his older brother, Michael.
I started going to school drunk like junior year. Whenever dad had night shift, or whenever dad was working, when I would get home from the bus, I would get drunk. I would go to work just shitty drunk. Drinking, I couldn't fucking quit, dude. I would try and I would get such a bad panic attack. I would almost throw up. I literally drank I had 53 violations on my breathalyzers. But I started doing Adderall and I got employee of the month. I could get drunk as shit every day. I was blacked out as I was 18, 19 too, so it didn't really matter. And then I got blacked out drunk one night and my buddy's like, hey, do this. It's just like Adderall. And I knew what it was. I mean, so I snorted it. Me and him played 1985, that pilot game, for like 14 hours straight. And I was like, damn, bro, this is it.
I thought Sean was an Illuminati. I was like, I got to save Sean. And rather than look at him for making himself, you know, when he was 16, he told me he's going to be champ in the UFC. And I was so close-minded I was like, you're from Helena, bro, come on. And I was like, yeah, and I'm going to win the lottery. And he's like, if you believe it enough, you know what I mean?
You went to jail and was like, fuck, thank God. That might save him.
What about 14 times?
Well, yeah, I went to jail a lot. Probably every county.
How many well, I remember you got a DUI on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yeah.
DUI on Father's Day.
Yeah, it was always on a holiday.
I lost my job, I lost my apartment, and my car got totaled.
I remember that car when you got it totaled. I think it was when I fought.
Yeah, it was the night.
It was in
dude.
Helena. I was fighting, and you were supposed to be there.
Right.
Like, I had to completely detach, like, that he was my brother because I thought he was gonna fucking die.
Every time Dad calls me, it's something. Michael's this, Michael's that.
Like, you got hit over the head with a pistol. You're not making any fucking sense.
And Dad would always tell me you're mixed up with some bad people, so I was ready for it to be like, hey, Michael's dead. He's been dead for like 5 years to me. I don't talk to him. I know he's doing drugs.
But what Sean didn't know was that he was about to meet his new brother, Tim Welch.
I originally was going to move to California because I had to get out of Montana, from Montana, born and raised, and I had to get out of there to train somewhere else. Montana, they don't have pro gyms, they don't have pro fighters.
Montana?
Yeah, you can't like make it in Montana. I was downstairs in my living room, and Bellator was on. And I seen this guy, Tim Welch from Montana, and I was like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? That guy's from Montana? Like,
yeah,
I could do it.
If someone was on TV, I thought they were famous no matter what. I fight in Great Falls, where Tim's from, and I fight this college wrestler. It's the fights outside. Tim's commentating. This wrestler takes me out, he's beating my ass. I roll for a nice armbar, actually pretty nice armbar. I remember popping his elbow, he taps, I win. I'm on cloud 7,000.
I saw him, I was like, damn, that kid submitted a wrestler in the first round, and I knew at his gym he doesn't wrestle. I'm like, that kid's got some good talent.
So after the after party, Tim's like, yo, like, I offer this to people. Not a lot of people take it.
You can stay on my couch for a little bit and come check out the gym. Kind of figured he wouldn't.
I was calling him the next day. I might have been calling him that night.
Answer me, you whore!
I'm ready to go. Like, I was wanted to make it so bad. And yeah, the next day I ended up getting flights. A couple weeks later, flew down to Phoenix.
So I drove an hour to pick up Sean at the Mesa airport, and I picked him up. And I don't think he ever trained with any real professional fighters ever in his life yet.
When we were driving from the airport, he was talking. He's like, yeah, me and you were going to the top. I'm like,
God, this kid has no idea how tough this is.
You're going to be broke. You're not going to have a lot of money for food. You're not going to have a nice apartment.
You're gonna be sore every fucking day.
You're going to get beat up a lot.
And those times you're not training, you can't go out. I'm gonna go out. No, you gotta recover because you gotta train the next day.
Stayed on his couch, on his futon. Uncomfortable ass futon. Trained for 10 days, got my ass whooped literally every day. One of the worst but best experiences I've ever had. Cried every single day because I didn't realize the levels of this shit. Because I'm in Montana beating these dudes' asses. Yeah. And then I come to Phoenix and I'm like, damn, I'm not where I thought I was. So went back to Montana, saved up $2,000.
It was actually really fun. I worked at a mentally disabled group home so there's 8 of them. The youngest was like 8.
And we would just go in there and help them with chores, take them. I drove the bus.
So I would drive, I would bring them to work.
Little speaker talking, ripping some, basically a stand-up comedian driving around.
And just kind of help them do their chores. Because some of them were like a little bit more, they could do some shit. Some of them really needed help. One of them would shit in this peanut butter jar and put it up in his boot. That was fucked up.
Yeah, extra crunchy, dog.
Yeah. If I had to go back to work right now, I'd probably go somewhere around there, though. For real. Those guys, hanging out with those guys, like hanging out with Tim all day.
I paid off my 2006 Nissan Altima. Paid that off so I wouldn't have any bills. Saved up $2,000 and drove down to Arizona. Drove down 20 hours by myself, and Tim and I ended up getting an apartment together.
And I only had known Tim for those 10 days that I came down. Now we're moving in together.
If he's not picking up his shit, he's not doing his dishes. He eats like shit.
Did all that for him.
So he's like, what the f***? This kid doesn't know shit. He's like having to tell me to like, hey dude, you gotta wash your bowl.
I'm gonna try to treat him like my little brother and help him. And he was willing to like kind of follow along.
Tim was trying to get in the UFC at the time. Like, his career played out not exactly how he had seen it playing out. He obviously wanted to be with the UFC. He wanted to be world champ. But he was always such a good coach. So to look at it now, it's kind of like it makes sense to be like, because being a high-level coach is a whole skill in itself.
When my girl met me, she thought Tim and I were gay.
Yeah.
The first time. So we've been there.
How close have you guys ever been in like a nudist environment where you guys are both nude?
We hang out every single fucking day.
We had to literally live together, make food together, go to the grocery store together.
And it's just, I feel like there's like a chemistry there that a lot of fighter coaches don't have. Tim was a Jehovah's Witness too.
Jehovah is God and Jesus is his son. 144,000 already pre-chosen to go to heaven when the world ends, but the world will be wiped clean and we'll live a paradise on earth for who Jehovah decides.
They have a belief that we are living in the time of the end. Door-to-door activity is paramount, and that's what Jehovah's Witnesses are known for.
How do they react when they knock on the door?
That's a good question.
He's like, yo, what's up, dude?
Yeah. I see you getting after it.
Yeah, respect.
He got disfellowshipped or whatever it is. So.
Or?
Because he got the gang.
Stop witnessing.
Yeah, stop witnessing.
And you had a pretty good run as well as a fighter. Like you said, fought for Bellator, among others. Ultimately, why did you stop fighting?
I broke my jaw my last fight, and it was a pretty severe break, and I was wired shut for a while. So I just started kind of helping out, coaching a little bit, and I just started really liking it.
While Tim was settling into his new career as a coach, Sean had gotten a call from the UFC.
My Contender series fight, that was the worst training camp I had ever in my life. Had a horrible camp for the Contender series. I got concussed like 2-3 weeks before that fight. And I was wake up in the middle of the night puking, like just from getting hit hard and sparring.
2 or 3 weeks before
I was like 139 pounds walking into the octagon, which is f***ing insane. Like my last fight, I probably was 153, 154, walking into the cage. I shouldn't have been fighting that night. Couldn't eat, my head hurt. It was a shitty camp. But for whatever reason, I was confident. Dan, I'm gonna knock this dude out in spectacular fashion, and you're gonna want to sign me. I'm gonna knock this kid out now. I said too much.
I know. Sean O'Malley enters the octagon undefeated at 22 years old. Give that kid a contract!
I'm looking for exciting. I'm looking for flashy. I'm looking for somebody who has that thing.
What is that thing?
Sean O'Malley is that thing. He's the guy.
But something was deeply wrong with O'Malley.
Ronda, how you doing? How you doing, Ronda?
His fast track to stardom was taking its toll. Like many other athletes that came before him, he was forgetting his limits and the virtues that got him where he was in the first place.
After my fights, I deal with way more anxiety because my sleep schedule's not as good. I'm fucking partying, I'm drinking, I'm doing alcohol. I get nervous when I think about like after my fights. I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'm like, dude, I don't want to party. Don't make me do this. And I want to, but I'm also like, I don't want to, because that leads to
right. You don't know how far you'll go.
Yeah, each time it goes a little bit further too. Dude, I'm scared of Suga sometimes. Like I don't want to let Suga out.
All this good stuff happening to you, know what that means? That you're favored by God. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You know that, right? But this is something that you may not know too. When you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil. He's coming for you too. So you just gotta be strong and stay on the right side. Whose side you gonna go on? He's gonna give you power too.
I've always felt like my career's been guided through a higher power. Call it God, call it energy, call it whatever you want. So they're like, you know what, Suga, you were starting. This is like the first time I made 6 figures. I was like, damn, I'm balling. They're like, here, let's put a baby in your life to keep you grounded.
Whoa, you're pulling my pants down. That's not funny. No! Good boy.
Elena, I feel like she truly saved, I don't want to say saved my life like I was about to die or go off the deep end, but I very well could have. And has allowed me to stay focused and disciplined on what my why is. My why. I want to be the greatest of all time.
Hi guys, got it? Yeah. Get the door! Get down as well! Right now! Hands up!
So I was going to fight on the Conor Khabib card. 3 weeks out from the fight, USADA called
and said that I had tested positive for a banned substance called ostarine. They said it was such a small amount that it pretty much has to be a tainted supplement.
What we think it was, what we pretty much know it was the caffeine pills. The caffeine pills they were like $6 pills that we got at one stop.
Today I'm gonna take a caffeine pill because I'm running a little late, so I'm not gonna have coffee and it won't give me. Sometimes I have coffee too close to practice and it kind of fucking gives me heartburn. Remind me at 2 p.m. to take caffeine pill.
The levels were so low that there was no performance enhancing benefit. It was literally a drop of water in a lake. They said that they knew that none of us were taking it intentionally, so they let us all with some small suspensions.
Let's fine him, let's suspend him until we figure out. We know what it is. They 0.08 is a contaminated supplement. They know that. USADA knows that. UFC knows that. My lawyers know that. Everyone knows it, but it's in the law. It's the rule. It's like, we gotta change the rule, dumb.
And then my suspension was up, and then I was supposed to fight Cheeto.
2 weeks out from the fight. On Wednesday, USADA called me, said I'd failed for ostarine again, that I'm gonna get suspended, pulled off the card.
I know, but you hear what he said? From your perspective, I thought about it from your perspective. I failed the test, not knowing about taking something. I'd be pissed. I'd be assuming this motherfucker took something, but I didn't think it took something. Never taken. You know, but did you hear what he said?
Like every time, like let's see, I got a ring. My wife told me, hey, take the shit. I fucking got it. I was like, that's what he said. We might be done for don't go, but that's what it is. It's a fight game. We might meet, we might not, but it's okay.
Literally second time, second fight camp. Gonna put me out longer. I'm in the best shape of my life.
After failing the test twice consecutively, he had now had 2 years out.
Co-main event on UFC 252. Cheeto, a tough fight. I called for it. I wanted that fight. Like, it's Shooter Show 2.0. Like, I was fun to watch 2 years ago, and my skill level just increased so much.
Going into this fight healthy, confident. I just feel super dangerous right now.
Something's wrong with O'Malley's leg.
Right
I don't know what happened.
Oh! Huge elbow from Cheeto! Good shot!
Marlon Cheeto Guerra stops the Sugar Show in round 1.
Oh my goodness.
Incredible!
Oh my goodness.
I didn't feel like I got beat because he was better than me. I rewatched the fight. His toe hit my peroneal nerve under my knee, and it caused drop foot. It's happened to people in the past, but the nerve comes back. My ankle wrap was too tight. And I remember having my coach in the back telling him before we walked out, I'm like, hey, we try to loosen this up. It was so tight. So when he hit that nerve, I just don't think it was like able to come back.
He gets lucky and beats me and jumps up like he's won the lottery. Yeah. That just showed me what kind of a bitch he was.
Yeah, I got a lot of hate for saying that. I will never accept that as a loss, and I still won't.
It was a freak thing that happened, but ultimately, you know, you didn't win the fight. So like, what goes into that thought process?
You watched that fight. I was piecing.
You were
him
winning
up.
the fight.
I was piecing him up.
So, but Sean, he got lucky.
I talked to the Sugar State Athletic Commission, and they took it away. It's not even.
Okay.
To me, I haven't been beaten in the octagon.
Sean had to look past the loss, as a rematch wouldn't advance his career enough for it to be worth the time. But as Sean was building a big name for himself, he was turning into an even bigger target for other hungry fighters.
You haven't fought anybody. Who the f you fought?
Cody's one fight away from the commentary booth next to Dominic Cruz, so I don't know what he's talking about.
It's still done more than what you're ever going to do in this career. Bro, I'll eat you like
let's
cotton
just
candy.
square up a little bit.
I'll eat you like cotton candy.
Square up and just, Dana, can me and Cody square up just for the future?
Please, let's do it. We'll do it right now.
Square up. I didn't see that.
You want to match him? He's right here. I'd love a tune-up. What do you say, Precious?
Serious?
What would you want to bend the knee at what time? 'Cause I think you absolutely suck.
Okay, it's crazy. No one takes that dude serious.
But Sean had his eyes set on the title, and to get there, he had to beat the top contender.
Sugar Sean, you look like you sell camels with no hump.
Everyone asks me if I'm nervous, and I'm like, nervous to beat someone up? Not really.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I thought they were going to give it to him.
I thought Piotr Jan won that fight.
A fight that was meant to validate Sean as one of the best bantamweights ended with him having lots more to prove. His chance to settle any questions would be in his next fight, a title shot.
Aljo and Henry, I'm fighting the winner for the belt. They're literally fighting to see who gets to fight me.
100%.
And I feel like they're both overlooking me. I'd like Henry to win because I'd rather fight Henry. Social media already doesn't like this guy. He's f***ing cringy. Yeah. And he tries to play it off. He tries to like play into it and almost makes it worse.
Boys, you guys know I'm a very, very busy man. I'll keep this short. I came here for 2 reasons. 1, praise you, Kamaru, you're an absolute legend. And 2, Henry, how'd you let Aljo take you down so easy? You're welcome!
Did we lose him?
One thing I want to say, I know there's a sweet in the crowd. Sugar Show, where the f you at, bitch?
Better hope you look better than that.
You got a whole year.
You look better than that.
You got a whole year to work on your jiu-jitsu.
You better be ready to cut
now,
weight.
Daddy Dana ain't gonna babysit that ass no more.
You better look better than that.
I drag ass up and down this octagon, bitch.
He's an entitled little brat that thinks he's Conor McGregor, who has been given everything from the UFC. Sean O'Malley was supposed to fight me at UFC 288. He opted not to take the title shot. He gave it the blessings to Henry Cejudo. He thought Henry was going to be enough to beat me so that he didn't have to face his fears. I showed that I'm simply the best. I took down the gold medalist 4 times, and now he has no choice but to finally step in there with me.
Do you have any pressure? Do you feel anything at all? Anything you feel from that?
No.
I mean, I get kind of sentimental when they said it was going to be you. I was like, I just remember when he was
Right?
little.
How long ago was that?
You were season 1, so 2017, so 5 years ago.
We've been together for 10 years, flat broke, just trying to climb up the ranks. To be here for a world title, it's you can't even explain the feelings.
Sugar, you obviously got a big pop when you entered the arena. You're getting one right now. Even though you're not the champion, do you feel like you're the ace title for this pay-per-view?
Yeah, I feel like Aljo's fighting for the sugar belt. You know, I definitely feel like the ace time. But I still got to go in there and knock his ass out. Just keep getting better and better and bigger and bigger.
Who has this guy fought? He is going to get exposed on Saturday night. Exposed. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Chito, not long ago.
Oh, Chito's here? What the? I didn't know that. Dun-dun-dun, Sports Better top 10 plays coming in at number 1. Sugar Sean O'Malley knocks down Aljamain Hussein Sterling!
I can't wait to go out there and close it.
I had GQ today.
I know that is kind of fire.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That's a big shit. I did live with Mark and Kelly this morning.
Oh,
Wow.
shit. And it was live.
And it was live. There's an audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was that?
Unlike this. it was good, but yeah, I do some big shit. I'm a big deal. You gotta dress like a big deal when you're a big deal. And you're beating up Cheeto's next.
And people think I hate him. I definitely, you know, I got nothing against Cheeto. People think I hate him. I don't mind Cheeto.
Well, just people thought it was funny that you always said that wasn't a loss.
It's not. And then I'll die at that. Cheeto, I don't like him. I'm excited.
I can tell you guys do not like each other.
Do you know why you wanted to be famous? You just felt like
girls. 100%.
That was it. It was just
I
that.
feel like it had to have been that. Like that's why I started fighting in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone. Who is it? Oh, yo. I was looking at my Marlon Vera keeps calling me.
Actually.
On FaceTime, look.
Answer it.
Should I answer it? Marlon, I'm live on the show right now. I got Sean right there.
What are you doing?
I
mean, you're arguing the guy. Why you want to be famous? You want to get pages, you fucking pussy?
Well, you want to get dudes? You got to work on that shit talk, bud.
I mean, I don't need to talk. I don't need to work about it.
I do a lot of work about it. My next opponent, possibly Merab. The fight makes sense now. I knocked out his buddy. Like, he's on a 10-fight win streak. Out wrestles everyone. Gets a hold of him. He's boring as hell. He's ugly as He just grabs a hold of people, out wrestles them. So going out there and knocking someone out like that's gonna feel good. You know what about Merab? That dude's funny. I think he's genuinely a good dude. I think he's genuinely retarded.
Don't be disrespectful opponent, you know? What kind of people does this? Only snake people does this. Even now, like, he's talking his podcast, like, make fun of my height, make fun of my nose.
Hey, buddy, you need help grabbing something? Yeah, I can grab that for you. No, that's something you'll never be able to reach, you little fucking dork. Keep trying now.
This is, if you look on paper, this is the type of fight that is would be Sean's kryptonite.
The wrestler versus the striker. The grappler versus the sniper.
Why you keep saying Suga will be tough matchup for me?
You knocked out your boy Aljo.
As Sean was getting ready to fight Merab, his older brother Michael was re-entering his life.
Everyone lived in Montana. I finally got my mom down, my younger brother down, my sister down, and my older brother down, and I got them all down to Phoenix. Do you think you could have got sober staying in Helena?
Not a chance in hell, dude. So that's why I'm so grateful for you.
Michael O'Malley just got to Vegas after driving over from Arizona with his girlfriend and son to attend the press conference for UFC 306, where his brother Sean is the headliner. It's a milestone event for Michael, who wasn't present for much of Sean's early career.
This is cool, because I missed all those high or on probation or drunk, you know, so this is cool. This is definitely cool. It's something I enjoy. So
Michael and I's relationship's been restored. It's amazing. And him and Sean do a lot together now.
Today, Michael is in a good place, and the O'Malley family has enjoyed having their older brother back.